I want you to picture something for me. It's day one of Madden 21. You've had it for the day. You've watched all of my videos, so you know exactly what you need to do to make the most coins, build your team, and get started. Your friend has also gotten it today, but he's just popping it in for the first time. He says, hey, let's play a head-to-head with our MUT teams. That can't be that good, right? Little does he know, he's about to get beat like he just stole something because you have watched this video and you know exactly who you need to have on your team to dominate people from day one in Madden 21. Let's get into it. If you're looking to build that God Squad to get the leg up on your competition, check out my new sponsor, MUT Coins Express, on Twitter to get the fastest and cheapest MUT coins available. Use code WIZARD to get 10% off your order. So boys, this is a very exciting and also a very, very boring time because Madden 20 is dead. It's been dead for a few months. A lot of us have been clinging on to it a little bit, but it's honestly been dead, and we should have seen it a while ago. There's just nothing to do, but we are very excited because we are getting more Madden 21 details. The beta just dropped. We all got to play that. We're getting more and more details every day, like ratings. So we're gearing up for Madden 21. It's coming in about a month and a half, and I, for one, am very, very excited, and I hope y'all are too. And I wanted to go over this list of the best players day one that you're going to want to add to your team. Now, for most of these, I have one player for each position. I skipped offensive line. But one player for each position that you're going to want to have on your team that are just going to be head and shoulders above every other player at their position when the game comes out. You're going to want to add these people to your team so you can just beat people into the ground if they don't have these players. I'm going to release a lot of videos when Madden 21 releases, just before it releases, as we get more details. So y'all need to tune back in to those videos so you can know exactly what to do with Ultimate Team, how to get it started, how to get the best team possible. Because right there at the beginning is when the race begins. And if you get out in front of that race, then you are going to be in front of the race all year long if you keep it up. So make sure you subscribe, turn on those notification bells so that when I drop those videos, you can watch them before anybody else and you can take advantage and start building that MUT squad. Now, like I said, for most of these positions, I only picked one player so that you have one to focus on. For the quarterback position, I picked two for two different play styles. Number one that we're going to go over is Mr. $500 million man, Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be a billionaire before he retires. But Patrick Mahomes is going to be the first guy to go. He has a bazooka of an arm. He will probably have the bazooka ability to go along with that. He's going to have a core elite like he had this year. Probably won't have the best core elite. That is going to be reserved for our other quarterback. But he is a very good evasive quarterback. He makes like ridiculous throws. Very good card at the beginning of the game. His only really downfall throughout the year is his release. He's a little bit slower on the release. We'll see if they rework it or anything maybe for next year. But at least in Madden 20, his release was a little slow. But from day one, that slower release isn't going to matter a ton. Mahomes is going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the game and one that you should consider picking up. The other quarterback is, of course, going to be the cover athlete for Madden 21. That is none other than Mr. Lamar Jackson. So I did pick two quarterbacks because two different play styles. You've got Mahomes. Yes, he can scramble. He's quick enough to get out of the pocket, but he's not Lamar Jackson in terms of speed and agility. He has the much better arm than Lamar Jackson. There's no denying that. So depending on your play style, and we may not know right, we will see more as we get more gameplay, more demos and all that, you know, when the pre whatever, if you have EA access, when you're able to play that, we'll see more, and we'll be able to determine whether the meta is scrambling quarterbacks or staying in the pocket and throwing. I have my money on it's going to be scrambling quarterbacks because Lamar Jackson's the cover athlete. You may as well have Michael Vick 2.0 put on there. So regardless of your play style, those are your two options, in my opinion, Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. I just realized I didn't put Lamar up on the screen, but if you don't know what Lamar Jackson's card looked like, then I don't really know what to tell you. Have you really ever played Madden before? But the second position is actually going to have two as well again, and number one is going to be Mr. Saquon Barkley. We're going to go over the running backs. Mr. Saquads Barkley. He is not going to be the best running back in the NFL. He is very, very good. He's number 2 or number 3. He's right there. Incredibly good running back, but he plays glitchy as hell in Madden. That's why he is on this list. He's a great receiving back. He does it all. He's very agile. He runs people over, especially in the beginning of the year. Very, very good running back to have. But the other running back on our list is going to be Christian McCaffrey, who I think is the undisputable number 1 best running back, all-around player in the NFL right now. He carried the Panthers offense. He's probably going to do it again next year. Very, very good player. The only reason that I put him as 1A and 1B with Saquon is because he never really plays that glitchy in Madden. I feel like I'm hoping they're going to change it around next year. and he'll be just like the best running back, best receiving back. He really should. He should be a really overpowered card. And if he has a year anything like what he had this year, then he should be getting some ridiculous cards. I think they did him a little dirty this year. I never thought he was that top tier back. He did get a power up expansion recently, and that helped. But just throughout the year, he was never really the guy that everybody had. Saquon multiple times was. But I'm really hoping throughout 21 that McCaffrey will be the guy multiple times. So I would definitely consider adding him to your team because he is going to be a hell of a running back next year. Before we continue any further, I do want to say, yes, I am leaving a lot of people off like Derrick Henry or Zeke. I'm picking one or two very specific guys. I'm not saying there aren't going to be other good ones. There will be other good options, but these are my picks that I think are going to be the best guys that you need to pick up on day one. So don't get all pissy at me, Cowboys fans, for not putting Zeke as the number one running back that you need to pick up. Now, the number one and the only option at wide receiver that you need to go after day one should come as a shock to nobody. It's Mr. Tyreek Hill, Cheetah. Dude is fast as hell, okay? He is this card, this 85 overall card right now. When the game first came out, this was one of the most expensive cards in the game because, what is his speed? Speed was 89 from day one. Yet, a lot of players have 99 speed now, so 89 speed gets blown out of the water. From day one, he was like 4 or 5 speed faster than pretty much everyone else on the field. This card is going to be incredibly overpowered. There might be a few other ones like John Ross or Hollywood Brown, guys like that, but Tyreek Hill is probably going to be the fastest one with a core elite from day one. He is going to be probably one of the most expensive cards in the game, so definitely you want to pick him up because nobody can cover him. Nobody can cover him on a streak. If you have him and Mahomes with that cannon of an arm just lobbing it to in the backfield, you're going to piss so many people off, especially that buddy that you're playing head-to-head. For the tight end position, we had a couple options like Ertz and Kelsey, but I decided to go with Kittle. I used Kittle a lot this year, George Kittle. He's a very good pass catcher, a very good run blocker, which is going to be very important at the beginning of the year, and he just does it all. He has very sturdy hands, so I think George Kittle is going to be the best tight end for you to pick up in day one. He's going to be making ridiculous catches over the middle, good ones in the end zone, and he's going to be run blocking for you, which is really, really important. Like I said, guys, I didn't do offensive line, whatever. If you want an offensive line, just go and get whoever the best offensive lineman is. We'll talk about that when Madden 21 comes out, but I wasn't going to break down each position on the offensive line because really, who cares? But our first defensive position is going to be defensive end, and that is going to be Mr. D Ford. Now, looking at him here, his 80 core elite had 76 speed. That's pretty fast for a defensive end on day one. He's got really good speed for a defensive end. I think he's going to have like an 84 core elite is my prediction because he had a pretty good year last year. I think he's going to have an even better year next year. And some people like to spy their defensive line. It depends on the formation you're running. But with all these running quarterbacks and with what I think is going to be the meta next year with scrambling quarterbacks, you're going to have a good spy. Yeah, you might want a good fast middle linebacker, but if you don't want to do that, you might be able to get away with a really fast defensive end, and D Ford's going to be your guy there. Now, for me, this is going to be the most important pickup on day one because I use the middle linebacker, but it's going to be Devin Bush. Devin Bush has incredible speed even when he first came out. He's got 85 speed as a 79 middle linebacker. The good thing about whichever one of your cards, whether you use your middle linebacker, your free safety, or your strong safety, guys, if you don't use one of those guys in your defensive line, yeah, I know they're making some tweaks or whatever, and the user was kind of garbage in the beta. I think they're going to fix it. I still think the user is going to be the way to go in Madden 21 because you can take away so many routes. Hopefully they do that. If they do, you need to learn to do that. Okay, I'll put out a video on that closer to 21 on how to use her very well. If you don't know how to do it, then I'll try and teach you, okay? Because when you're not, if I play someone and I see their user in the D line, it's almost always GG's because it's just so easy to dot up the CPU. And if you're just using in the D line, yeah, you might get a sack occasionally, but you're not going to disrupt the play every single play, and you need to. So, rant over. Devin Bush is my pick for who you need to pick up at middle linebacker, an incredibly fast middle linebacker, which is what you're going to want day one to be able to lurk, get all over the field, and if the beta is kind of true, I think they're going to fix it a little bit, but it might be a little bit harder. They actually nerfed it from 19 to 20. They nerfed the linebacker hard in terms of usering and lurking and picking. They might be nerfing it hard again in 21, which means you're going to need a very fast, agile middle linebacker, and Devin Bush is going to be the dude to do that. Man, if they don't give Devin Bush like an 84 overall middle linebacker, I'm freaking done because I need a good middle linebacker. Maybe we'll have like a captain or something like we did with Shazier, but I need a good middle linebacker, and Devin Bush is a good one. All right, moving on to right outside linebacker, we got Mr. Jadeveon Clowney. He always has a really good core elite. He's definitely going to have one next year. One of the best guys, I don't even really need to say a lot about this. Just an incredible power rusher. It's going to be really important to get over to those quarterbacks. We're going to test out and see how good the pass rush is in Madden 21 in those first weeks or two, but you want to be sending good dudes after the quarterback to really get after him. Jadeveon Clowney is a powerhouse every year. At the start of the year, if he has an 86 in 21, he's going to be one of the best cards in the game. Definitely one you're going to want to go after on day one. And on the flip side, for the left outside linebacker position, I'm going to go with Khalil Mack. You could go with Von Miller if you want. Either one's going to be incredibly good. But the Khalil Mack, when he first came out, I don't remember what Von Miller, I guess we could look really quick, but I don't want to, the core elite. It was somewhere around there, 88, probably an 86, 87, somewhere. Both are very good pass rushers. They're going to get off like crazy. You want to use these guys as blitzers, obviously, not in pass coverage. So adjust my pick here based on how you play defense. But if you're using pass rushers at left and right outside linebacker, Jadeveon Clowney, Khalil Mack, you get those two dudes, first week or so of Madden 21, people are going to hate you because you're going to be sacking their quarterback like 50% of the time. Not 50%, but a lot of the time. You're going to be disrupting the play a lot of the times. These dudes are beasts. For cornerback, I did pick two guys. The first one is going to be Marlon Humphrey. He had an 80 overall core elite for this year. I think he's going to have a much higher one. I think it's going to be like 84, 85, somewhere in there. And he's going to have pretty good speed. He's probably going to have 85, 86 speed. He's going to be one of the few dudes that can keep up with the guys like Tyreek Hill. Now, he's not going to have that top speed like they have, but there's really no one that has that. He's going to be able to cover most guys on the field. Marlon Humphrey is my first pick for cornerback because he's just going to be a goon. My other pick for cornerback is not going to be for his speed. It's going to be Jalen Ramsey, who is, of course, one of the best cornerbacks in the game, but isn't the fastest. As you can see, he's got an 87 overall core elite in 20. That was his first card, and he only had 83 speed, which, you know, is good, but as an 87, you would want it to be more like 85, 86. So not the top end speed, but he's going to be able to cover everyone else. And honestly, a lot of dudes aren't going to have 87, 88, 89 speed. There's only a few guys that will have that from day one. So Jalen Ramsey is going to be able to cover everybody else, and he is incredibly good in coverage. As you can see on his stats here, he more than makes up for that speed deficiency in his man, zone, and press. All very, very good stats. Those are going to be a phenomenal for you on day one. At strong safety, we have Jamal Adams, and Jamal Adams, guys, he should probably stay on your team all year long. The dude is going to be forcing fumbles. Remember how Tillman was? If you got Tillman up to 95 at the beginning of Madden 20, like pretty quickly, the dude was a beast. He was forcing fumbles left and right. That's what Jamal Adams is going to be like. I'm predicting like an 86 or an 87. I think he's going to get a good core elite, and he's going to be a beast. Forcing fumbles left and right. He is going to be a good one to have day one, a good safety to come up and just lay the boom on some guys coming out of the backfield. You're going to want that so that you can force those fumbles. And finally, my pick for the free safety that you're going to want day one is going to be Derwin James. Now, I know he's a strong safety right here. I think they're going to switch him over to free safety because that's what he was drafted as. I mean, we'll see. He may still be strong safety, but regardless, if you get Derwin James and Jamal Adams in the backfield as your two safeties, even if they're out of position, that's going to be dirty. That's going to be nasty. He is an incredible all-around player. He was only given an 81 overall core elite from Madden 20. I think it's going to be much higher in Madden 21. And this guy, just like Jamal Adams, is going to be an absolute stud in the backfield. No one's going to throw it at him. If you have Derwin James and Jamal Adams roaming around in your backfield, then good luck to everybody else because that is going to be a ridiculous duo to pass on. If y'all couldn't tell, I am very excited for Madden 21. I hope y'all are too. It's going to come up on us pretty quick though. We got, like I said, a month and a half, and it's going to be here. So I'm very, very excited about it. Excited to try it out and get into it. If you guys want to have the best MUT team possible right towards the beginning, I'm going to be making a lot of tips and tricks videos about Madden Ultimate Team in those first couple of weeks. So make sure you are subscribed, have the noty bell on so you don't miss any of them, so you can take advantage of all that good stuff. Y'all let me know what you think about my picks down below. Like I said, there are a lot of other good ones. I'm sure people in the comments will have people that I should have picked instead of this guy or that guy or whatever. Let me know. That's fine. We can talk about it. But these are my personal picks for the best players that I think you need to pick up day one in Madden 21. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that one. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.